Hi, welcome to Online EdVantage. I'm Dr. Jody Richardson Delgado. Please subscribe to our channel. We're going to talk about appraising and coping with stress during this part of the video series. So when we appraise stress, we're looking at the stress that we're involved in, the situation that we're involved in, and we're really appraising how we can cope with the situation, or if we even need to cope with the situation. So coping involves cognitive, behavioral, and emotional abilities, and we use this to effectively manage something that is perceived as difficult or challenging. We do a primary appraisal of the situation, and this is our initial assessment. And we want to see, is this situation relevant to us, or is it irrelevant? Is it positive? Is it challenging, or is it harmful? And once we make that appraisal of the situation, then we do a secondary appraisal. And really, this is about, how do I respond to this situation? If it's not relevant, then I really don't need to have a response. If it's positive, that's going to change my response, and it's going to be different than if the situation is harmful. And of course, if I see something as challenging, then I'm really going to use different resources than if it's harmful or positive even. Now, when we appraise stress, we can do problem-focused coping or emotion-focused coping first. Now with problem-focused coping, this is really addressing the problem. So what is it that needs to be addressed about this problem and taking care of the business of the problem? Emotion-focused coping is really focusing on the emotions that surround the problem. We do find that in most situations, most people do better if they cope with the problem first and then deal with the emotions. However, there are times when we don't have a lot of control over the problem itself and the emotions need to be dealt with. We can't only focus on one while ignoring the other. However, we often approach one first, and that's kind of our coping style. And we find that people that cope with the problem first tend to do better in the long run with the problems that they are dealing with. Personality really affects how we appraise and cope with stress. So we know that some personality styles are better at coping with stress than others, and it has to do with certain personality characteristics. The type A personality style is one that is more competitive, more aggressive, more impatient, and often has hostile patterns of behaviors. Not everyone with a type A personality behavior has these hostile patterns, but we do find that these hostile patterns do play a role in dealing with stress, and often in negative ways. These hostile patterns can also impact health as well. Type B personality, this is a person who's a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more patient, really has more non-aggressive patterns of behavior. We find that these individuals are a little bit better at dealing with stress. These individuals tend to let things kind of roll off their back. There's also a type D personality that is newer in the field of personality. And this is a personality type that's characterized by emotions like worry, tension, bad moods, and social inhibition. People with a type D personality have a tendency to avoid dealing with problems directly and not taking advantage of social support. And these individuals are often more susceptible to mental health issues like depression. And so we find that these individuals with a type D personality really have more issues dealing with stress and often fall into patterns of depression. Control is a big part of the challenge of stress. When things change, we feel often this loss of control, and that's a big contributor to the stress that we feel. So the perceived level of personal control actually influences our health outcomes in life. The locus of control was studied, and it looked at our perceived sense of control. Was it internal from within us, or was it external? Really forces out of our control that we're really guiding our life or our decisions in some way. So this is the differences in perceived sense of control stem from the beliefs about where the control resides. With an internal locus of control, these are individuals that feel that they are in control of life. They take charge and make changes when problems arise. They may look at a situation and try to figure out what they could have done differently or what they could have done better in those situations. External locus of control, These individuals feel as if chance or luck or fate is responsible for their circumstances. And these individuals are less likely to make changes when problems arise. They don't take as much control of the situations or don't look for those areas that they might be able to change for future when they get into similar situations. We do know that people who feel more stress feel out of control, even in simple and mundane aspects of life. And this impacts our ability to manage stress in many ways. We found that meditation has actually shown to really increase this sense of control and really helps decrease individuals' stress levels. Part of that is when one is meditating, you can control the breath, you really control the body in those situations, and it can be very helpful. Some other things that we know are extremely helpful for dealing with stress include having good nutrition, exercising, doing some type of relaxation or an activity that's really helpful for relaxation, working with biofeedback, getting the social support that's needed to help you deal with the problems that you're dealing with. Also, we find that faith, religion, and prayer are also extremely helpful for stress. I hope this video has helped. Please click on the EdVantage logo and subscribe to our channel.